Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Morgan, and if you've never seen my channel before, I don't really know what's going on with this channel, but I'm going to be doing monthly book reading wrap-ups every month. So, January just got over. I don't know when I'm going to post this, but for me, it's February 1st right now. So, yesterday is the last day of January. And I'll just tell you, 3 days before January ended, on the 29th, I had 3 books I wanted to finish, and I was only like halfway through each of them. So I'm pretty proud of myself. So I did read 10 books this month. This does not look like 10 because it's not. This is only 8 of the books I read this month because 2 were books that I had to return to the library. I do read quite a few library books, so a lot of them you will probably see as library books because I read a lot of them as library books. Because I normally don't buy books unless I know that I like them, or that I know I will like them. Okay, so we're just going to get started with the first book I read this month. So I will basically be telling you the book I read, if I liked it or not, what star rating I gave it, and then what the synopsis is for every single one of these 10 books that I read this month. So, and just to give you a little thing that I'm proud of myself for, is last year I would read maybe tops 5 books a month, maybe 3, maybe 4. It was around the 3 to 5 range of books. So I'm pretty proud of myself for reading 10 books this month, and I hope I can keep that up all year. So, alright, we're just gonna get started. So, the first book I read was, if I remember to put a picture up, I might put a picture up. It was Fame, Fate, and the First Kiss, written by Casey West. So, I have a challenge this year where I want to read all of Casey West's novels, maybe not like Pivot Point and Second Chance or whatever those ones were. All of her YA contemporary romance novels, I definitely want to try and read this year. So, I'm pretty proud of myself for this month. I read 3 of them. So, the first one I read, obviously, was Fame, Fate, and the First Kiss. So, if you've ever read the Love Life and the List series, or the Love Life and the List book, this follows a girl named Lacey, and she is an actress, and she's, like, starring in her first ever movie, and that's basically her journey, and they always have a romantic interest. So, her romantic interest is her tutor, because she's falling behind in her schoolwork that she's doing, like, not online, but she has to do these packets and then turn them in. So, it's a light and fluffy novel, is all I'm gonna say. The second book is the only other one I don't have here to show you. So, the second book was Moment of Truth, written by Casey West. So, this one follows a girl named Hadley, and she's like a competitive swimmer. And basically, this guy dressed as a movie star breaks in, but he crashes her swim meet and ruins her swimming, I don't want to say mojo. I don't have any other words to say. Her swimming mojo. I don't like that word. I can't think of another word. Her swimming ambition. I don't know what words to say. And so basically the whole book, she's trying to figure out who this Heath Hall guy is, which is the movie star. And I would highly recommend both of those. So, yeah, they were pretty good. I did enjoy both of them quite a bit. The next book I read was Gossip Girl, written by Cecily von Ziegler. I don't know how to say this. I should have looked it up before I started this. I have absolutely no idea how to say the author's name. You also cannot see the author. Here's the actual cover. I don't know how to say the author's name. There it is. If you did not know, these are the book, I'm not going to say adaptations, these are the books to the Gossip Girl adaptation series. If you've ever seen Gossip Girl, you'll probably know why I picked these up. These are just supposed to be entertaining. They're not supposed to have a really big plot line. They're just kind of for fun. So, I also got all of them for my birthday this year. So, these are like the collector's ones. So, this one has Blair and Serena on the cover. Also, this series is a 12-book series. I'm like, okay. Anyway, so I did enjoy it. It was okay. I feel like it was kind of an introductory novel to to the rest of the series, because it was just kind of introducing everyone and everything, so I was kind of bored. So I only gave it a 3 out of 5 stars because it was not the most enjoyable, but it also, I wasn't mad at it. I've never seen Gossip Girl. Gossip Girl follows this group of preppy teenage kids. They're all seniors in high school in this. In the show, they're juniors. And it follows all their drama. They live in the Upper East Side of Manhattan. And it just... there's a website called Gossip Girl that follows all of these teens and what they're doing. For some reason, it's a huge deal. Like, Serena just came back from boarding school, and she got kicked out of boarding school, and why did she get kicked out? Why did she leave? Like, that kind of stuff. So, the main characters are Serena, Blair, Dan, Nate, and Chuck. So, basically, what I can say is this whole book, Dan was trying to get Serena to like him, Nate was trying to stay away from Blair, or Blair was trying to get Nate to have sex with her. Man. And Chuck was just being a jerk. But the whole book, it was an okay book. It wasn't great. We're just gonna move on. The next book I read was a severe disappointment. Like, I was actually kind of hurt by how disappointing this book was. This book was so bad. I normally give books 3 to 5 stars. I almost never give books 2 and under. 2 and 1 stars, that almost never happens to me. The only 1 star I've ever had was Looking for Alaska. And I almost never have 2 or 1 star books. So I first rated this a 3 and then thought more about it and realized that it was a 2. Because I was so disappointed. I had such high expectations. Everyone on book 2 was saying how amazing this book was going to be. And it was not. This book was Frankly in Love by David Yoon. I'm gonna try and cover that. So, Frankly in Love. I would not recommend this book. Anyway, this book follows Frank Lee, who is a Korean American. Sorry, I was excited because representation. Like, you don't see a lot of that in novels. You mainly see white girls, white guys. So, Korean American, it's kind of cool because a lot of the books I read, I almost never see Korean American or Korean people. So, anyway, this follows a Korean American guy, and his parents are very racist. And he starts dating a white girl. So to cover up his dating a white girl from his racist parents, he has to fake date a Korean American girl as well. Now, I'm sure you see where this is going. It's a fake dating trope. What's gonna happen? Oh, even the back. 2 friends, 1 fake dating scheme. What could possibly go wrong? You know what's gonna happen. You just know. But I was so disappointed in the end. I was really happy when the thing that you know that's gonna happen happened. I was so happy. And David Yoon completely ruined it. I was also excited because I love Nicole Yoon's writing and I love her novels. This was such a letdown for me. 2 out of 5 stars. Would not recommend. I'm upset. So the next book that I read was for school. So this is Shout, written by Lori Halse Anderson. So we had to pick like a non-fiction book to read for a book report. So I picked Shout. And this is Lori Halse Anderson's biography about her experience with sexual assault. So, obviously a very big trigger warning for sexual assault. That's what this entire book is about. If you're not comfortable reading those topics, I probably would not read this if I were you, especially considering this is a real life experience. I gave it a 4 out of 5. It's just kind of hard-hitting at some points, and some things she doesn't explain well enough, so it was confusing. So a bunch of things, I was just like, a bunch of big points. I just didn't understand what was happening. I was kind of like, okay. But overall, a very powerful book. And I think it's a book that you should read if you don't have any issues with reading about sexual assault. It is a very hard-hitting book, but yeah, so would recommend. Next book I read is one of my own. So Gossip Girl was my own, and then these ones are both from the library. Another one of my own books that gets to go sit on my shelf after I'm done is The Upside of Unrequited, written by Becky Albertalli. So this book is one of my favorite books in the entire universe. It's so cute. It's everything I want it to be. So of course I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Every time I read this book, I give it a 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely adore this book. So this book follows Molly, and Molly has had 27 unrequited crushes, and she's a senior in high school. So one night she's at a club, and she hooks her sister up with a new girlfriend. And in her sister's girlfriend's group, there's a guy, and she likes him. She thinks he's super cute, and it looks like he likes her as well. And then she starts a new job. And she has a coworker, and she likes him also. And she thinks he might also like her too. So now, after however many years, 18 years of no dating, 17 I guess, I think she's 17. 17 years of no dating, all of a sudden she has 2 boys that both like her. And she is kind of stuck in a love triangle without either of the boys knowing. But she's in this dilemma in her mind. So I would highly recommend this book. I would highly recommend any Becky Albertalli. I've read, I think, almost all of them except for one. I love Becky Albertalli's writing. Every single one of her books has a LGBTQ plus character. And so I think that's really, really nice because you don't see a lot of that. I mean, you do now more, but still not a ton. So I really enjoyed that. Next book I read was my last Casey West for the month, and this is Lucky in Love by Casey West. This is another library book. I read so many library books, you guys. So Lucky in Love, I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. It was so good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every little bit of it. Last time I read this in like 2018. I gave it like a 2. I thought it sucked. Where was my head back then? I was a 7th grader, so I didn't fully absorb this. One thing I will say is I don't like the main character, Maddie, at all. She really gets on my nerves. So this follows Maddie, and she's been preparing her whole life to go to college. So everything she does is so she can get to the greater goal of going to college. And she's not an impulsive person. She would never do anything super impulsive. She works at the zoo with her friend Seth, who you can guess Seth is her love interest in this novel. So she works at the zoo with Seth, but she would never do anything impulsive. And on the night of her 18th birthday, she invites some of her friends to come over, and none of them show up. So she goes to the gas station and buys a lottery ticket, not thinking she would win. Well, she does win the lottery, and she wins about $30 million. So her whole life is flipped around. She was poor before, and now she has $30 million that she doesn't know what to do with. She makes some really bad decisions. I will say she's not very smart with her money management. And just the only person that seems to not know about her lottery win is Seth. And she wants to keep it that way. So, really, really good book. Please go read any of Casey West's books. They're all super, super good. I think my favorite one is The Distance Between Us. So, I would read that one. I finished. Or the 8th book I finished. Okay, I guess it just kept recording. The 8th book that I finished is Gossip Girl, You Know You Love Me. So this is the 2nd Gossip Girl installment of the 12-book series by Cecilie von Ziegler. I want to say that's how you say it, but I don't know. I probably will never find out either. This one has Chuck and Blair on the cover, which they're my favorite, so now you know. They are my favorite couple in Gossip Girl. So I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. This one I feel like was so much more enjoyable than the first Gossip Girl book. It was a lot more enjoyable. I really, it was a much better plot line for one. It was just better in like almost every single way. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed this book. I'm not really gonna say anything because it kind of spoils some stuff because obviously this is the second book, so every book from the Gossip Girl series from now on, I just kind of can't say anything because it spoils stuff. Next book I read, I feel like I should have read this a while ago, but I also feel like if I would have read it a while ago, I would not have gotten the same enjoyment that I got this time. I don't think I would have rated it the 4 stars that I rated it. I think it would have been a lot lower. But I read The Great Gatsby, written by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I hate that they put the barcodes on the front. So I read The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. And I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. It was really enjoyable. So I don't know really how to explain this book. The first third of this book, I was genuinely confused. I did not know what was happening. This is about Nick. It follows Nick and Daisy and Gatsby. And just go read it. I don't know how to explain it. I'm really excited to watch the movie with Leo DiCaprio in it. I don't know how to explain it. I was confused like almost the whole book. And the final book that I read this month was ultimately the best book I've read in years. Of course, I've absolutely adored Twilight. I've adored The Hunger Games. But this book was so good. And the fact that I went into it going, I don't think I'll like it because it's fantasy. It's probably going to be too fantastical. I also didn't know that it's very similar to Beauty and the Beast. So maybe that'll give away what it is. A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I finally read A Court of Thorns and Roses. I've been putting this off for like 3 years because I was like, I'm not gonna like this. It's really high fantasy. I'm not gonna enjoy it. Well, I was wrong. This book was so fantastic. I gave it a full 5 out of 5 stars. I probably would have given it more if I could have. Amazing book. I don't know what else to say. This book was everything to me. I cannot wait to get into Court of Mist and Fury. I already have it. So, loved this book. So this book follows Feyre, who, this world, there's the human realm, and separated by, like, a wall, there's the fairy realm. And the fairies are not, like, actual fairies with wings. They're, like, magical beings. And basically, they used to rule over the humans. And then there was a huge war, and so now they're separated. And basically one day, Feyre in her family is very poor. And it's like, it reminds me of Katniss in the beginning. Like, her family's super poor, so she has to provide for her family. So she goes out into the woods with bows and arrows. And basically, she kills a fairy. Now, she did not do this on accident. She purposefully killed him because she was just so disgusted. So, she gets taken as a prisoner by one of the other fairies. Yeah, so I cannot wait to get into the next books of the series. I'm so excited for the next books. So, I will get into those as soon as I possibly can. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. Okay, so I forgot to show you, but I get to put these books back on my shelf. So basically, what I'm doing is, when I don't have my shelf, like when I haven't read them, the books are turned around, so you can only see their pages, and then as soon as I read them, I can turn them back around. I also did this just to accurately show, with my ratings, the books that I read. So, but yeah, so the first book that I can return is the first Gossip Girl book. This is kind of hard with one hand. So, there's the first one, and then I can also return the second Gossip Girl book. So there's my Gossip Girl book series, but I can only return these first two. And the last one I can return, these are my library piles. So this is the public library and the school library because I get books from both. I can put this one back. So it goes up here. I feel like I read a decent amount. That was quite a bit. So I will see you in my next video. I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe my February TBR. I don't know if I'm going to do those types of videos. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next video.